Hi, welcome to this module. So in this module, we'll be talking about arrays. So we briefly touched on arrays in one of the first modules. Do you remember? So we are going to look further into that right now. So we already looked at variables as well, and I defined variables as holders of information, remember? So it holds one information at a time, variables that is, okay? So that's variables, okay? It can hold a string, a number, a boolean value, anything. So if you want to hold, so in your variable, this is how you create it. So it can hold any number. If you want anything at all, so if you wanted to hold a different value, for example, if you wanted to hold a string, you have to replace the old value with the second value. Okay, it can't hold more than one value at the same time. So that's what variables are. But what if you want to hold multiple values? Hold multiple information of different type within the same variable like this. How would you do that? Okay, so in order to do that, you need to use your arrays. Okay, so arrays are, just as their name specify them to be, they allow you to store an array of values. Okay, you can store an array of values inside a variable, and you can access each value separately, or you can or access all of them together as well. Okay, you can do both. All right, so now you know what an array is. So you can assign an array to a variable like this. Okay, like just like you do with your string. So how would you create an array? Let's just look at that. Okay, so to declare a variable as an array, you can use multiple methods to do that. You can use the new method like this, and you can do it like this, new array. If you do this, you're basically telling that A is an array. So you're telling your browser that A is an array, and it's further going to get a lot of values to make it an array like that. So now that you've declared an array like this, you can assign a value to it. You can assign multiple values to it. So to assign multiple values to it, how you can do is you have to open your brackets like this, square brackets. Okay, arrays always come inside square brackets. So open square brackets, and you can give any number of values separated by commas. Now that's the thing. Okay, every value has to be separated by a comma. Okay, so if I want to give 5 numbers in here, so A is going to hold the numbers 1 to 5. So how I'd give that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. So separated by commas. Okay, so now we have an array with the name A. It has 5 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but how can we access them? Okay, these values, right, these values, once you create them, they have something called index. Okay, each of them have index, and the index starts from 0. Okay, it starts from 0, and how it goes is like this. Okay, so the first element has an index of 0, the second element has an index of 1, the third has an index of 2, the fourth has an index of 3, and the fifth has an index of 4. Okay, so that's how the index work. Okay, it starts from 0, always remember that. And the last element, okay, last element has an index of the length of the array minus 1. So the length of this array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But the index of the last element is actually 4. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, so now we have an array with the name, number, and everything. So let's try to get certain okay, console.log. Let's try to see how to, okay, let's see how to get values from here. Yeah, okay, so I want to access this particular element, the second element, and as you know, it has an index of 0, 1. So it has an index of 1. So this is how you can access your array elements. So first, the name of the array, okay, which is A in this case, and then within your square brackets, you have to give the index like this. Okay, so A of 1, okay, within the square brackets immediately, and this will go and fetch this value from the array. So that's how it works. So let's log this particular element to the console and see what we're gonna get. Let's refresh. There you go, we're getting 2. See, 1 2, this particular element. If I logged 4 in here, I'd get 5, the last element. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, it has an index of 4. So that's how you can access your arrays. Okay, you can do an alert of this as well, or you can use this somewhere else. For example, I can assign this assign a of 4 to b, and I can do a console.log of b, just b. Okay, in that case, see, sorry about that, I can I'll have to first declare this. So let b, and then I can do it like this. See, I'm getting the same 5 in here. Okay, so also we can change the values of the arrays. Okay, for example, if I say a of 3, which is actually 0 1 2 3, right, this one, I can change the value of this. I can change it to 7, for example. So now if I do a console.log of the entire array like this, see, I'm getting 1 2 3 7 and 5, not 4 and 5. So the value of the array, the fourth element, the element with the index 3, the value of that has changed to 7 now. Okay, so that's how you can change it. You can also add another element if that's what you want. So the last element is in the index 4, right? You can add another element in the next index, which is index 5, right? So how you do that? You'd have to say again a of the next the index that you want to add your element to. You can say a of 5 like this, and then you can give another value. I can give it like 6. Like this, 6. And now if I look for the array inside of my see, now the length of the array is now 6, and I'm getting 1 2 3 7, because that's how we changed it, and 5 and then 6. See, perfect. So we can also so far we've just looked at numbers, right? But we can also store strings and booleans and other values inside your array. So let's look at it. In this example, let me assign values directly to an array without declaring first. Okay, so far we just created like this. Let a is equal to new array to create a new array, but you can also do it like this. So you can just give let variable name is equal to, just within your square brackets you can create your elements. So as I told you before, you can create your element. Your elements can be strings and a boolean as well. So let me create an array of strings now. It can be mixed up as well, right? I'll show you examples of that later. Okay, see, and as you already know, strings should be within quotations, either single quotes or double quotes like this. So that's the start of your arrays. Okay, so this is one array. So if I do a console.log of a right here, this is what I'd get. See, 1 2 3, it has a length of 3 like this. So this is how I'd get it. If I do an alert of the same, I'd get the same thing within commas. See, 1 comma 2 comma 3. That's how arrays are usually represented in your page. They are represented with commas like this. Okay, so as I told you, you can declare them with your square brackets, but you don't really have to assign variables to start with. For example, this is how we created an empty array, right? Like this, right? But instead of this, you can create an empty array in another way as well. You can just give a square bracket like this, and that's it. Okay, just one square bracket like this, and you can just leave it as such. Okay, so this would now be, if you look at the type of this, it'll say it's an object now, because you now created an array. See, as you know, array is of type object, right? See, now it says object. So all you have to do is just create an empty array like this, just two square brackets like this, and you've created your array. Okay. But did you know that your array can also have multiple data types? I already told you about that, right? It does not have to be homogeneous. It does not have to be just an array of numbers or just an array of strings or stuff like that. It can have multiple data types like this. See, so first one is orange, the second is 2, third is 3, and then the fourth is going to be apple, and the fifth is going to be true, the sixth is going to be false, seventh is going to be a floating point number 2.0, and the eighth is going to be 5.5. And as usual, this space is just for design, so you can have it or not have it, doesn't matter. Okay. And also I can access these arrays. Obviously I can access them. I can do a console.log of first element is, and then I can say a of 0. That's how you access the first element of an array, right? So if you refresh, first element is orange. Perfect. So that's how you access. So as I already told you before, your JavaScript code does not take extra white spaces into account, so that's how you can give a lot of white spaces in here, and it'll still not matter. If I look for a in here, it'll still properly give me everything. Okay, it wouldn't give me any extra space in my console or in my alert or anything like that. So that's one thing. Okay, the browser, it only considers semicolons, the brackets that we use, and parentheses if there are any, and things like that into account. So white space is mostly not considered unless and until it's within a string. So within a string, white space is always white space, but outside of that it doesn't matter much. So you can actually create your array like this as well. You can create it in multiple lines like this if that's what you want. Look at that. You can do it like that. Okay, so you can do it like this as well if that's what you want to do. Okay, so in here the space and line breaks, the line break, space, those things, they are present, and it still does not affect the execution. If I look for it, I'm not getting an error. I'm still getting only first element is orange, right? And if I search for a in here, the array, I'm still getting the proper array like this. So that's not a problem at all. But it's usually considered bad practice to do it like this. It's just too much. It just takes up too many lines of space. So it's considered bad practice to do it like that. If you want to do it though, you can do it. But in some cases, you might want to make them visible in that case, okay? And also, you can add a comma after the last element and it'll still work and you won't get any error. But it's considered bad practice again to put a comma after the last element. Okay, so it's better not to do that. Okay, it won't create any problems, but it will create problems in old browsers, very old browsers, right? So those browsers won't process this properly, so avoid using a comma in the last element. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this lesson. Let's look at more things in the next lesson. I'll see you there. Thank you.